Hi, a very good day to everyone. Thank you for being here with us today and spending the next 1 hour with us. So we will be starting very shortly. I'm just going to wait for another couple of seconds, maybe another 10, 20 seconds for people to stream in so that we can start on time and of course end on time. All right, so for those who are in today we are going to be talking about how you can manage your career in 2022. And I'm really excited for today's session. I've been anticipating it for the past couple of weeks, and I'm so excited to be spending tonight with all of you here live on, be it whether you are streaming in from LinkedIn or from Facebook. So if you have your friends around whereby you know that this is a session that can benefit them, right, I'll encourage you to share this with them. All right. And then at the same time, if you have any questions along the way, feel free to drop them into the message box. So we would like to do our best to address your questions as well. All right. So welcome everyone. Okay, cool. All right, so a very quick introduction about myself. I'm Samantha. I'm a career success coach, and I work with professionals to help them achieve their career success by equipping them with career related skills and up to date market trends. Now, but today, the main person that is on stage today will not be just me alone. In fact, I'm really excited because I have the honor and pleasure to invite Eric here with me today. Now, y'all can actually take a look at Eric's credential on LinkedIn, and I don't think I have to say so much about it. His experience is very respectable. But maybe I just like to share with you how I get connected with him, especially we are in very, very different industry. I came from education, he came from banking and finance. It's a space where we will never cross path. So yes, we did not cross path physically, but we cross path digitally. So I actually connected with Eric in 2020, to be exact, 22nd of June 2020. All right, so I came across his profile because one of my connection actually shared a post that he has written back in 2018. And the title of the post is called Why Bankers in Asia Needs a Second Job. All right, so that was something that really was very intriguing because back in June 2020, between April to June 2020, I think all of us experienced a global incident, which is COVID. And at the peak of COVID, I witnessed a lot of disruption going on that threw many professionals and businesses off the grid. There was loss of job, there was soaring unemployment. So whatever that Eric has written in the article really hits home. All right, so that was when I started to connect with him and started secretly learning from his sharing and posts. So only the past few days, in fact, just over the weekend on 8th of January, I met him in physical person because he launched his book launch, okay, a hybrid book launch whereby he hosts them live on LinkedIn as well as physically in Singapore itself. All right, so without further ado, I would really like to take the opportunity and my greatest honor to invite Eric on screen. I can't invite him on stage, so I'm going to invite him on screen. So there we go. Hi, Eric.
Hi, Samantha. Hi, everyone. My name is Eric Sim. Really a big pleasure to be here, and very glad Samantha invited me to share my experience with all of you.
Right. I think the pleasure is mine to begin with. So, Eric, when I was reading your book, right, Small
Mhm.
Actions Leading Your Career to Big Success, it's a book that I really love. So, anyone of you who are interested, you can get it at your local bookstore. Otherwise, if you are someone like me who likes digital stuff, you can also get it on Amazon and read it on your Kindle. Right. So, when I was reading this book, there was 66 small actions of a lot of real life and very relatable examples of based on your experience in banking and finance, and of course your last role as the managing director in UBS. So I can see that when you were doing this, you were achieving so much in your career, you were doing so well. Yeah, I know most people would have enjoyed the fruits of their labor and take it easy, but you decide to continue to plan and pivot your career. So maybe you can share with us, when do you start to realize that it's so important to plan and manage your career?
Actually, I didn't plan so much at the beginning. But one thing I did was to incorporate my interest into my work. Because, we work 10, 12 hours a day. It will be very boring if all you do is work related. So what I've done
Mm.
is I like photography, so I volunteer to be photographer for companies event, clients event. So that time, I was as a junior banking employee, I was also very interested in Mac products. Like year 2000, 2001, I bought my first Mac, and I was
Okay.
really excited because at that time nobody knew about that and nobody wants to use that. So I used that for my client presentation. So people were presenting using PowerPoint. I was presenting using Keynote, and
Ah,
that got conversation going. So my client, instead of talking to me just on financial products, we also talk about Mac and why I use it. How come the animation is so different? They say they have never seen anything like that. And because of that, I got closer to the customers. And of course, they buy the products. Products are about the same. Every bank sell about the same products, but they want to learn how I go about connecting my Mac to the bank's network. And so at that time, banks security wasn't so strict. I can plug in my computer into the bank system, and my colleagues got to know about it. Then they come to me for Mac advice, and then from 2001 onwards, more and more people are buying Mac computers, and some bosses came to me as well, say, "Hey, can you come to my house to teach me my Mac?" I said, "No, these are like bosses 2, 3 levels above me." Of course, I say yes, and I got to know him better, got to know the family, and from there I built the relationship. So incorporating my interest was the beginning of my career planning.
I see. That's interesting. I think some of the clients that I work with, they usually don't like to talk about work because it feels like work is a very taboo word. I already spend so much time working in the day. Why off my working hours I want to talk about work? But I think one thing that you really did that some people don't do is really putting the fun back into working. Like what you say,
Yeah,
incorporating interests, right? So I think that's
yeah,
really,
that's
really
that's what I do. So I don't practice work-life balance. What I do is work-life integration. So at work, I will talk about Mac because I'm using Mac for work. I'll talk about photography because I was the photographer for the client's event. So after I took some nice photo, I got good excuse to send clients the photos, right? Or colleagues a nice photo of them. And I'll train my colleagues as well. And I become a trainer, internal trainer. I mean, all this I do for free.
I see. I think there is a
Then
lot of
outside of
sorry.
work, no, I say outside of work, I also talk about work sometimes. Yeah. So when I travel overseas, I would go to visit my overseas colleague. If I go to London for holiday, I'll visit them as well. I'll make it a point as part of my tour to visit different offices in different countries.
Yeah, I think life is too short to do meaningless things, and I think you really put a lot of meaning into the work you do, and that's the reason why
Mm,
you also enjoy very much of what you do. So I really believe that no one owes anyone anything. So if we want the next promotion, we actually got to plan for it. If we want to do meaningful work, we also need to work the plan. But what happens is that most people probably do not plan their career. It's very interesting because they plan their weekend, they plan their holidays, they plan how to use their annual leave, but very few think about their own career success. And what happens is that the moment they get the job, they outsource it to their bosses, they outsource it to the company, and
mm,
just think that the next promotion will come. So there are
mm,
three groups of clients that I broadly categorize. The first
mhm.
group is they don't care about their career. So got
Okay.
promotion, okay lah. No
Mm,
promotion, also okay. The
sure.
second group is they like to plan for their career, but they do not know exactly where to start. So for this
Mm,
group of clients, I think a very good way for them to start is to really start reading your book because there is 66 small actions you can take, and I think at different phase of your career, there will be applicable tips that you can do. Now the third group, which is I think is also a little bit um, something that I feel for them is that they do want to do something and they work on it, but perhaps they don't see the results immediately. They kind of give up halfway. So I remember one of your LinkedIn posts, you actually share and chart out your career path. It's not a straight line path, it's like all over the place. So it is a
Yes.
marathon, it's not an overnight affair. So I just like to ask you, when you were doing this for yourself, what keeps you going? How do you find that strong why? How do you find that deeper meaning so that no matter how much obstacles are there ahead, you still persevere on?
Yeah. So it's also related to incorporating my interests. For example, I like to teach, so I also teach outside the bank. I'll go to school. I mean, I'll go to university to teach, and we cannot expect our work to be happy every day. So some days are down, some days, your boss not happy with you, you miss your promotion, your bonus not as good as expected, or you got some toxic colleague who try to steal your credits. But because in the night I'm teaching, right?
Yeah.
So let's say in the day, all this bog me down. Then 5 p.m. I know I'm supposed to get ready to go and teach. My class probably starts at 7 p.m. Then I'll make my way. So I change my mood because now I'm going to do something that I'm interested in. And next day when you come back, you start a new day. If I don't have this interest, what's going to happen is I'm going to bring this negative feeling back home because you just continue, and next day when you come, you are still very negative. Whereas for me, when I go to school, I'm teaching the students. The students are so enthusiastic that give me the momentum to continue. And next day when I wake up, I say that my life is not bad. Yeah, work is not great yesterday, but I still get the salary. I still got my medical benefit. I got my business card. I got a big brand name to leverage on. And evening I can teach. I can make some pocket money. So in the bigger scheme of things, is good. So that second job helps me to continue. And also, you must remember why people hire me. Not because I'm Eric Sim, but because I was MD at UBS, because I was the VP at Citi. So the bank, although sometimes don't treat me well, but then I'm also making use of the bank's name to teach outside. And I thought it's give and take. You cannot expect your boss to make you happy all the time. It's not our boss's job to make us happy. Their job is to make sure that we give them the result for what we are paid for. So happiness is not part of the contract. If you want to be happy, then it's our job to make ourselves happy. And once in a while, if I'm not happy, I just leave office 1 hour earlier, so my per hour pay for that day increase a little bit.
Yeah, speaking like a true blue train engineer, very logical and very factual, very, very grounded. I love it.
Mm, mm,
Yeah. So, hi everyone who is streaming in. Good evening to all of you. All right. So we are having this an hour session. Eric and myself, we are going to talk. We are actually talking about career conversations, and he's also elaborating a little bit more about what he has written in the book, so that you don't just read the black and white. You actually get to hear from the person, the horse's mouth direct. So it's a pleasure to be here. So if anyone of you all have any question, be it whether you are streaming in live from LinkedIn or Facebook, right, you can drop us any question in the chat. All right. So very cool. So I think Eric mentioned something that I feel so aligned with is it's not your boss's responsibility to make you happy. In fact, this is something that I also believe is, it's our job to understand our boss. It's our job to deliver what we are hired for. And if you want happiness, you probably really have to create condition for you to feel happy. And I think that's what Eric does. He is an executor. I think if you set your mind to it, it's as if nothing that you can't achieve. So right now in the work that you are doing, you are no longer in the bank, but you are really helping a lot of senior professionals, a lot of seniors executive to also work their career. Maybe you can also share with us, moving forward, actually in 2022, this is our third year in COVID. All right, and I think we witness a lot of disruption up and coming, and there will be more. So maybe you can share with us what are some of the trends or skills that you see that is required by every profession, regardless of industry, regardless of your role, you should have this. Maybe we can start with one hard skill first.
Yeah. A lot of people, they pile onto their core skills. That means they are in finance, then they go and take a master's in finance, thinking that that will help them. But a lot of time, one little skills that may not to your core job. For example, if you can have social media skills, your bosses may want to write something on LinkedIn, don't know how, and you are the only one in the whole company that knows how to do that. Then he might call you, right? Because these bosses could be 2 levels, 3 levels above you. That's when you get closer to the bosses. That's when you have chance to think about more strategic. That means as you engage with your big bosses, you know their strategic thinking. So I think social media is very much required. But a lot of companies, although social media is very important, companies don't hire a social media manager. There's no headcount and there's no budget. So usually they choose, and it's not a full-time job, right? It's maybe once a week he needs to post something. Then he might ask you to help. That is one skills. The other skills could be Zoom. Like for example, you can do Facebook Live, LinkedIn. Now we are streaming to both Facebook and LinkedIn. How do that? How do you change your this camera? Just now it was a wider, and then now is more close up.
Yeah.
How do you do your lighting? That is important, right? If I move my light, it's very different. So this bosses may need your help if they know on social you are on LinkedIn, you are already doing LinkedIn Live. When Clubhouse was hot, that maybe you want to join Clubhouse. And the secret, LinkedIn is going to come out with your event very soon in the next couple of months. So catch on that and be the champion. So learn one skill that requires a few weeks to pick up.
Understand. So I'm hearing this thing called digital fluency. So on top of your core skills, one thing that we also need to master is actually some digital fluency. I think in this era, in this digital revolution, you cannot don't know how to talk tech. You cannot don't know how to talk a little bit of code, and you cannot don't know how to understand data. So I think what you mentioned just now are really simple things that we can do within our circumstances, within our capacity, that doesn't really involve a lot of probably you don't even need to put in any capital. It's something that you can pick up to enhance to enhance your skills, to make yourself stand out. That is one hard skills that we
Yes.
very
I say that know some equipment. Your bosses may say, "Hey, what microphone to use? How come you sound so clear on Zoom? How come your lighting is so good?" And these are the little things that can help you create your internal brand. Do these small things well means you do bigger things well.
Understand. Right. So maybe I can take this chance to show off my background, right? Because I know that during Zoom or during like virtual setting, a lot of people like to use virtual background, but virtual background has its limitation. It eats up your bandwidth and it doesn't look so real, especially if you are training, you talk a lot, you move a lot. So with a divider, you can actually customize. And today I have Think Big, Start Small at now.
Oh, wow, nice poster.
You can see?
I can see Think Big.
Yes,
That's
Think
very
Big,
nice.
Start Small. Yeah, so you can customize it. So this is just a divider. Yeah, so this is something that I picked up during 2020 because I was doing a lot of online sessions. So you're right, digital fluency is really a way that we must master. All right, so maybe I take a pause here because there's a question from Angela. She actually asked you, okay, how important would you say about visibility in the corporate world? So I believe she
Visibility
means
in
like
the
corporate world. Yeah. Should
yeah
you let yourself be visible?
yeah yeah, that is one of important factors. Performance is only 10%. That means whether you get promoted, right? Your performance is 10%. Then your ability, generally your ability takes up a portion. Your exposure, the many people know you, that is 60%. That means your internal reputation. Because no matter how good your work is, if your bosses don't know you, you won't get promoted. If only your direct boss know you, you may not get promoted. Because a lot of time promotion is decided by 2 levels up, not your direct boss, unless your direct boss is super senior. But a lot of time, when we want to promote people, we need to look at the entire company. Say, for example, okay, VP, we can promote 20% of the VP to directors. Then let's look at all the company VPs. And that one is not your boss. That one is division head. So division head will take a look. So who they'll promote are the people that they have heard of or they know. If they don't know, chances are you won't get promoted. So your reputation is very key. Your exposure is very important. People say, "Oh, it's not what you know, is who you know." That is wrong. It's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Yeah, that's completely correct. Agree. All right, I think visibility in corporate world, I think like you say, it has its importance, especially if you feel that, hey, you still want to continue to progress in the work that you do, you still want to continue to have better opportunity, you want to climb the ladder. I think visibility is important. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. All right. Hi, Ray. Okay, can so just now we were talking about one of the hard skills that everybody should equip yourself with is digital fluency. Okay, regardless of your role, regardless of the industry that you are in, you cannot not know social media. You cannot not know what is the latest tech. So this is something that I also advocate. If you cannot be the super creator, that means to say you are not the software engineer, software developer, you do not know how to code, which is fine. But you need to be a super user. You need to know that, hey, there are these functions coming out. How can I integrate all this tech stuff into my current role so that I become a little bit more sellable? I become a little bit more irreplaceable in that sense. All right. So the next thing is that I'd like to ask you, share with us one hard skill that we should all master in 2022. And I also know that during your book launch, you did a live session. So for anyone who is interested to catch his live session, I'll paste the link in the chat later so that y'all can revisit. He actually shared about 3 tips for personal branding. So I believe using these 3 tips of personal branding, it will also help to boost up your visibility in the corporate world or in the industry that you are in. Right. So that's to address Angela's question. So maybe you can share with us another soft skills that you think is really important for all professionals to start working on in the year of 2022 and beyond, besides personal branding.
Yeah, I think the one skill that is very key as an employee is selling skills. So doesn't mean that you have to be in sales, then you need selling skills. In fact, we are all in sales because when you are an employee, you are selling your time and services in exchange for a salary. So why should people pay you? Why should people pay you more? Like if you want to sell wonton noodle and suddenly you want to increase by 50 cents, you need to justify better food, bigger wonton or more ingredients. So what are you giving more to your employer so that they can give you the pay increment and they can give you the promotion. And for me, I treat people around me as my customers. Yeah, my bosses is my biggest customers. So what does he want? What kind of problems? Sometimes he work that nobody wants to do. Right, some mundane job. Can I help him automate that? It's not part of my KPI, but if I can automate that for him, he can free up his time, and then he can use his time to teach me some other skills. Or when he's freed up, then he's not so tense or so anxious. Maybe he can lead the team better. And as he lead the team better, our team perform. When our team performs better, we're going to get more pay and more bonus to share around. So I think that is that is good for us. And selling skills also with other departments. I mean, we don't work alone as a standalone. A lot of time we work with another department. Sometimes you want to convince that department to give you resources. How to convince them? So I treat them like customer, right? So okay, what does he want? What can I give him in order for him or her to give me resources? So I'll buy lunch, I'll buy dinner. If they got problem with their work, I help them. If they want to understand my department's product, I give them a training. And because I do that, they always focus on my deal first. So when we internally, I bring in deals. Other MDs also bring in deals, but I need other department to help me execute. If I treat them well, they execute my deal first. If they execute my deal first, I have a higher chance of winning the deal and executing it to the client's liking, and I get more fees. Yeah. So this is the mentality that we should have.
Okay. I think it's not just pure selling skills that you are talking about, because I think the moment you talk about selling skills, maybe some of the audience will be, oh my God, I'm never a salesperson in my life. How am I going to sell something? But what I'm hearing here is you are really positioning yourself as a problem solver. You are here to provide solutions. So you are here to sell yourself or position yourself as someone that can provide solution to solve your problem. I think it takes someone with a very open heart and open mind to do what you do, because wouldn't there be chance, has it ever crossed your mind whereby, if I do this, maybe other department is just making use of me, and then, that sometimes it happens in the corporate world. How do you get past that mindset? Because it takes a big heart, to do what you do.
It's okay to let people take advantage of you a little bit lah. Yeah, I think no need to be so calculative.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sometimes I know they are taking advantage of me, but then if I cut them some slack, I let them take advantage of me a little bit. Next time I want to ask them a favor, it's easier because I already helped them, right? If you are so calculative from the start, next time when I need help, they're not going to be so enthusiastic. And be generous, buy lunch, buy dinner, buy tea break. Whenever I close a big deal, I'll buy the entire team, like the project team and department. Usually I will order, like when I was in Hong Kong, there is a Krispy Kreme there. I don't know whether there is still Krispy Kreme in Singapore.
I think there is. The donut, right? They sell donut.
There is. I'll order crispy donut, a Krispy Kreme donut. I'll order so
Okay,
48.
that's a lot.
Yeah, I'll just buy and put it there. I say that we close the deal, please help yourself.
Okay.
And people are happy because they feel like I include them into the deal transaction. So when we win, we celebrate. So small
Okay.
amount of money you need to spend. So I will bring my own chair. I will buy my own stationery. And if need to fly to see a client, if the company doesn't pay for my flight, I'll pay my own flight. And because it's an important client, I need to go, I'll go.
Understand. Wow.
Mm.
Okay. I think this also goes to the extent of building relationship that you are number one, you are including other people in your success so that they feel that they are part of the deal, like what you mentioned. Yeah, and I think one thing that I got away from what you shared just now is really don't be so calculative. I know how some individual will be like, every single thing they want to make it so clear, and then it probably will sour the working relationship. So besides that selling skill that you talk about, one thing that I can lead on to, right, is this thing called, it's actually you are building relationship. You are actually building your network. You're actually expanding your network. So how do you manage your energy? Because when I was reading your book, I was like, oh my God, you are not just a master of time, you are also a master of energy. Yeah, and I think you cover that in one of your action, which is I think 54, small action 54. So when there are a
54.
lot
Let
of
me
professionals.
check. 54.
Yeah, we are all referring. So yeah, you see,
Don't
54.
just
You say
manage
don't
time,
just
manage your
manage your
energy too.
yes. So a lot of people are just caught up in their work. Okay, I just do my day work, and then after that, I'm like so dead. I cannot do anything else. But you are consistently managing your energy, building your social capital. Yeah. So as a most professionals that I work with, they always tell me that they are not extrovert, so they find it very difficult to build relationships with people. Yeah. What advice will you have, right, for people like that to overcome building relationship, not just within your team with your bosses, but also with cross department, right? So what
Yeah.
advice will you share with us?
Thanks, Samantha. I'm
Yeah.
also an introvert by nature, so I can be an extrovert for a short period of time, like maybe when I'm doing LinkedIn Live. I try to exhibit more energy and more extroverted behavior.
Okay.
I think being an introvert is good because introvert tends to listen more. So you got more to offer when you speak. So that's one. Secondly, you can always leverage on people's energy. So if you come out with somebody who's an extrovert, you can ask them to talk, and a lot of people like to talk. So in fact, you don't have to talk a lot. In fact, always ask question, and they'll be yeah. So that's one. Secondly, it can be trained. I think you cannot change from an introvert to extrovert, but you can for a short period of time, maybe like 1 hour during the event, be an extrovert.
Okay. All
Is the
right. So for
signal
all
okay,
the
Samantha?
okay, so I think your signal can be a bit weak. So we
I think because I'm in the room, so let me shut down my phone. Yeah, turn down my phone already. So yeah, let's continue. Now seems okay.
yeah, okay. Yeah, your signal bar is 3 bar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 bar is the green bar. So 3 bar is still a bit weaker, but it's still we are still seeing I'm
Oh,
still seeing
okay.
you. Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Can.
So for all the introverts or people or individual who feel that you are not someone who can build connection, you are someone who cannot hold small talks, right? I think Eric just shared a very good tip is let other people talk. You'll be a very good listener, and then you can ask question. And I think part of asking question is you must be genuine interested in the person. Yeah. So I think that is something that I think Eric also mentioned in his book also. Be curious about other people, really have the heart to want to get to know the other person better. All right.
Yeah.
So
I also make it a point to learn about other industry and other aspect of life. I have done interior design. I've done
okay.
graphic design. So like for my book, the fonts I chose the fonts. I give
Okay.
instruction to the book cover designer how to do that. I do the page layout inside.
It's very readable.
Yeah. So all that I did because of my graphic design study that I did, and also media. Sometimes I post photos. Those photos taken by me is also coming out from my photography course. Whether is it portrait, is it building, architecture. I think if you can take more variety of classes, or you can learn from YouTube or learn from a friend, it will make you a much more interesting person. Yeah, so I do even gardening, so I'll learn about plants and the difference between plants and how to take care of that, all the way to C++, programming,
Okay.
and yeah, technical financial mathematics also. I do that.
Okay.
Mm.
Wow. I think Skills Future also should find you because you embody lifelong learning and you lifelong many
I
different
yeah
things.
yeah I don't like to use the word lifelong learning. It feels like
Okay.
it's never stopped. So what I do is 1 year learn very new skills.
Okay.
What is
Yes.
something that is like furthest away from your usual activities? Like I was an engineer, when in school, I joined a dance club to perform in NUS, on a big stage for the
Okay.
entire school. I forced
Okay.
myself to do that,
Mm.
and I will go and take art history from architecture faculty. I mean,
Okay.
engineers, you're not supposed to do art or write essay, right? Because I'm so weak
Okay.
in essays, so I went there to do it lah. Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool. I was also engineer trained, but I did career switch since day one, so I was never a practicing engineer. But I believe the things that I learned in my engineering course actually taught me very well in whatever that I'm doing now. So
Sure.
I think that's a new way to term it. Instead of lifelong learning, learn something new every single year. I think you mentioned that in your book as well. I remember writing it down.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah. So
that's
learn
exactly.
something every year. At least you learn already. Then that's it. That's it. That this year is done, right? So
Mm,
this year I learned how to use CapCut, an app to edit video.
okay.
So I
Yes, on
just
TikTok.
posted
Yeah,
on
you can.
social media.
Okay.
I posted one of me cracking coconut, like smashing coconut.
I saw.
Yeah. So that video it's like 8-second video.
Mm.
I just put in some text, put in the music using the app. So that is something that I learned end of last year, and I'm using it this year. That is one box tick. And last year at the beginning, I went to take positive psychology, a diploma.
Okay. Mm. You finish your course already?
Yeah, 6 months course, done, written like 4 essays, do some research, and got
Okay.
to know a new sets of people, because I don't
Mm,
come across psychology students in my
mm.
daily work. Mm.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think one thing that you did was also will also help you in your networking and building relationship with people is expanding your horizon, not just only know your type of work, but you get to know various stuff. You have various interests. So when you are able to
Yeah.
strike a common interest with different people, that's where you can have a more meaningful conversation. That's how you can build relationship. So I think what
Yes.
you are doing is exactly that.
And also, like in the audience on LinkedIn Live, you see Ray Pang. So Ray
Yeah.
Pang is a film director.
Yes.
So I said, okay, with him, let's shoot how to create video CV and a video
Mm.
bio. So
Yes.
sometimes to work with people, I'll try them, but it must be a topic
Mm.
that you also have done. I got some basic knowledge. Of course, I
Mm.
cannot shoot a video like a film director, but I
Mm.
roughly can craft a story. So he and I,
Mm.
we set up, took like 2-3 hours, set up equipment. Then we went through and then we teach how to shoot a video CV, because you want to stand out, right? Other than the
Mm.
paper CV, you can now on your paper CV
Mm.
put a link to your Google Drive. So when the interviewer or your potential hirer click that link to go to
Mm.
your Google Drive, and then they can see a video And that's when you can explain more than your paper CV. Your paper CV is where you work, where you go to school, what you have done. On the video CV, you can say, oh, I like gardening. Oh, this is my garden. I like dancing. You can show 3 seconds of you dancing. And suddenly, the entire person emerge, not just an accountant, but this accountant can dance, can sing. The impression is much deeper.
Yeah.
You increase your chance of being hired.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think paper CV is very one way, it's very black and white. People can't get any feeling. So the moment you have a video CV, it actually brings out your personality. And in fact, I saw the video that you and Ray created, and I in fact share with some of my clients who are also doing a career switch. When they're asking me how do you stand out, I say one of the ways is to, do what other people will not do and invest yourself in creating a video CV. So it's a small world. I get to know Ray because I was learning from him how to create videos. Because one of the things that I was learning last year is how to create YouTube videos. And then he was part of the trainer. Yeah. So
Okay. That is that is good. And also when you have all these little skills, then you will join a different group, right? As you join a different group, that's when you expand your network. Your network is your net worth.
Agree. Right. I break it down into 3 levels. When it comes to like network, I break it down to 3 levels myself. Number one is it's not just about what you know, but also who you know. That's level 1. So level 2 is it's not just about who you know, but who knows you. So that's level 2. Number 3, level 3, the highest level is it's not just about who knows you, but who likes you enough and willing to help you. I think that is really important when it comes to branding and building your relationship, because if let's say you are a professional or you are a job seeker yourself, most of the time in the job market, we also know that besides applying in the cold market, one of the best way to get yourself into a role that you like is actually through warm introduction or through internal referrals. Yeah. And there's no way you are going to get past that door if you are not building good relationships or you are not making yourself seen. So I think what Eric has been sharing the entire night, from personal branding, from the tips, from the things that he I think it's very interesting. You are sharing with us what you do. So I hope the audience understand that all these things that he's embarking on are things that he's doing to build himself, and I think it's something that we can emulate and we can learn from him as well. So very good stuff.
Yeah, like my do you know how I get to be MD at UBS? It's
No, would
because
you like to share with us?
my colleague Paul Au, he used to work in Citi. So at Citi we were colleagues.
Okay.
So he moved to UBS, and then one day he called me to say, hey, my boss looking for somebody with your skill set. Would you like to join us? It's the MD role, good benefit, investment bank. Then I went for 9 rounds of it and I got the job because he told
9
me.
rounds.
I didn't because MD, like the entire bank has to approve you. So it's like that. And how did I get to know Paul? Because I joined Citi, I know him. How did I join Citi? Where I joined Citi because my ex-colleague from DBS Bank, his name is Terence Goh. He moved from DBS to Citi. So at that time, I was with Chad. He called me to say, hey, my boss is looking for somebody with your skill set. Would you like to come? So I went there. I went 5 rounds of interview and I got the job. Yeah. So my job after Stanchart is all via introduction. So I'm never, in my entire life, I've never gotten a job because of advertisement. That means advertise, I apply, and I never, those type of job I never get. I also never gotten a job because of a headhunter. Yeah. So all the jobs is I wrote in unsolicited. Like my first 2 job, I just write to HR on my own. So when you write on my own, there's no competition. Then the rest, when somebody introduce you, the jobs is not even advertised. There is very few competition.
Understand. Yeah, so for all the audience who are tuning in, I think one of the biggest takeaway from this last 5 minutes that Eric has been sharing is you really need to invest in your social capital. Yeah, it is very powerful. Whether is it to get you the next job or whatsoever, but investing in social capital will also enhance your ability in general as a professional. I think it's something that I think every professional needs to do, but a lot of professionals are not doing it. Yeah, so I think it's a really good reminder. Thank you for sharing with us your so personal experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I think social capital is really important, and whether you want to do a startup, whether you want to get promoted, you need people to help you along the way. And you can't expect help from somebody tomorrow by helping them today. The help that I get, you see people buying my books. Some buy 10. I got a friend who bought like 50 copies. These are the relationship that I built in the last 20 years. So all coming together. People who are like my classmate from JC, from university, they are buying my books.
Okay. It's so heartening.
It's not because I did some good work in the last 1 year. That's not enough. Yeah. So my horizon is 10, 15, 20 years. So if I help somebody today, yeah, I think maybe this person can help me back maybe 20 years down the road. Yeah. But also doesn't matter if the person doesn't help me back. The help will come somehow or one way or another. Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, I agree. I think in my startup journey, I also receive a lot of help from people from different walks of life, and some are really through pure connection. In fact, I think most of the time it's through pure connection. In fact, in the startup world, they always say that the first group of people that will buy your products are usually not your family members or relatives. It's actually your first degree of connections. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I
Yeah, sometimes it's not the closest friend. Like my jobs are not introduced sometimes not by the close people who you have built good relationship. You just stay in touch maybe once a year of relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, that is really, really cool. Now, so I think we are coming to almost the end. So we are 50 minutes into our live session today. So I'm not so sure if anyone has any other question. I think this is really a good time to drop in because we still have a couple more minutes before we end today's session.
So let me just say hi to Wen-Ning, Jeff, Bernard, Ray already say hi, and Zhen Wei, Grace, yeah, and Angela, and also Chong Jin. Yeah, hello.
Yes, thank you, everyone. I think Angela has one question is can you share with us some tips on how to be visible?
How to be visible? To be visible, you want to be consistent. So for me, if you see, I am using orange as my IOL logo. I'm using orange for my book. I'm using orange for my pocket square,
Okay.
and even my pen that I have. Let me show you what I mean. So pen and orange pocket square. Then
Oh my god, you're streaming
you
live, you still put a pocket square.
yeah, and all of that, right? People remember you time and time because you're consistent. If you check my social media photo, you go to any social media, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, you will see the same photo. So that's how you get people to remember you. And always I talk about career and life skills. Hear me talking about investment banking deals so much, although that's my core expertise. when I was in bank.
Mm.
And some people do ask me to talk about. I hardly, unless I can relate that to work. If not, I don't talk. Otherwise, you become too mixed. Yeah. So that's when you can get more visibility. And of course, if you help people, you also get visibility because people remember that you have helped them before.
Understand.
All right.
Yeah, very cool. Yes, one thing is to stay consistent with your personal branding, because if you are sending wrong different things at different point in time, your audience is going to get confused. And if they even have a deal to approach you, they don't even know whether you are the right person to approach or the help you need. Yeah, so you're absolutely correct. I'm just very impressed that even though we are streaming live from home, yes, I know both of us are dressed up for like the actual event, but he has a pocket square. Okay, that is something that I wasn't expecting. So kudos to Eric's professionalism.
Yes. All right.
All right. Okay. Hi, Johan. Yeah, thanks for joining in. Okay, I hope it has been a very meaningful session for you. It has been a very meaningful session for me as well. All right. So I think any more other questions? Otherwise, we can also give time back to all of you for your evening. Yeah, or supposedly you are in this part of the world.
So everyone, thanks for joining. It's been a great pleasure to be here with you, and thanks Samantha for inviting me. I hope to come back again soon. And for the rest of you out there, I'm on LinkedIn. You can always engage with me. If you want to buy the book, it's on Amazon. It's in Kinokuniya and Zao bookstore.
Yes, correct. So I guess I'm going to just take this time to post the Amazon link whereby you can get the book digitally for some of you who are like me who takes like digital stuff. And
I think Kindle is good. Yeah, Kindle is you can get it immediately, and it's also much cheaper.
Yeah, I bought it in December, so I had it for Christmas. It's my Christmas present. All right,
I can buy it for Chinese New Year now.
Yes, absolutely. Don't you give ang pao. Ang pao very short gratification, but book will last you for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yes, and
So
I
the
also
orange
have
it can replace the orange. You got to buy the orange. You can buy this.
Okay. I thought about it when you mentioned, when I think of your orange, I think like, okay, Mandarin orange is here. So a book is a very good gift. Absolutely. I also have posted the link for Eric's live session conducted last Saturday, his book launch, whereby he shared 3 tips about personal branding. All right, so you guys can actually hop on in and watch it again. So it's about 40 minutes as well. So it's just nice, when you are on your way home, on your way to work, don't listen to things that are very nutritious for you, and this is one of those. And for those who like to connect with, follow Eric, that is his link itself. All right. So I really thank you, Eric, for taking this time off, even though we connect virtually and met only physically last week. But I'm really very honored to have you with us, and also very respectable. I really respect you for the work that you have been doing. So I really hope that maybe in the future our path will cross again to do more good to the community. I think we are kind of doing similar things, helping more and more people. So taking this chance to also wish everyone a very safe year ahead. Stay well and stay very safe, and have a very fulfilling year. Remember to learn one new thing this year, so that by the end of 2022, you have something to brag about.
Yes, and I wish everyone a big success in 2022. All right.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Bye.